Oh, you know what?
It's the camera angle.
It's only when I'm on that one that you hear it.
You ain't sure.
Testing. Good morning. I love all those smiles out there. This is so exciting. So we're back. We had a an event in, March, where we did this before, where we had Linda Whitley-Taylor speaking, and everybody seemed to enjoy it very much, and so we decided to have another one. And the lady that is with us today, I'm going to let her speak for herself, because I had the pleasure of seeing her last month, and wow, I was speechless. I really took away some things that just are going to be with me forever. So I just figured, let her speak for herself. You'll see what I mean after she's done. And this is Dale Smith Thomas, and we are so thankful that you could come here. Thank you, and I'm just going to turn it over to you.
Awesome. You guys give her a big round of applause. Okay, let me be clear. We're streaming live across the country today. Okay, y'all go woohoo and say hey to everybody out there. Hey, everybody. Woo! Nashville says hello this morning. I am so excited. Gina and I, she called me because she saw my bio on the cable network site, right, Gina? And she just liked the name of my presentation and just felt this kind of inner urge to give me a call. And I think that is so brave of somebody to step out and do that and to follow your inner voice. And so that's what she did. Hold on. I told him, do you know how many pictures there are out there with my mouth wide open? First of all, in addition to being a professional speaker, I travel around the world sharing a message of hope and inspiration. But in my former life, I'm also a tired old beauty queen. So when we see a camera, we can do this. Real quick. But this morning, we are talking about creating a winning edge and what that means in your life. I'm going to share a little bit about my history, where I've come from. If you haven't figured out, this is a Southern accent, y'all. So wherever you are today, I hope y'all don't need an interpreter. I'm glad to be in Nashville, where I don't think I'm going to need one today, right? Most of you will understand this accent. But I'm going to share some ideas that I 100% believe if you will just take one of them and put it to work in your life can begin to change. Because it doesn't take thousands of ideas to change your life. It takes one that we actually put into practice over and over again. Today we're talking about the winning edge and what that means. I was born and raised at Route 3, Box 89, Eupora, Mississippi. And I grew up way out in the country. My little hometown is 2,000 people. My parents are 10 miles from that town out on a farm. So this past weekend, I don't know if y'all follow football or not, but this past weekend, I went home to my home school of Mississippi State University. And if you don't follow football, we're number one in the nation. We've never been able to say that before. I'm going to say it today one more time. We're number one in the nation. And you know what? When I started thinking about the winning edge, going into the football season, we were unranked. Nobody's radar. And now we've gone from being unranked to number one in the nation. So how does that apply to our lives? So many times we're way over here wondering how we're going to get to the goal that we've set for ourselves. You do it one step at a time. Okay, before we jump into the material, I want everybody to hold up your hands and do this little 1 inch apart. For those of you that are on the phone, we're holding up our fingers about 1 inch apart. This is the distance in the 100 meter in the Olympics. This is the distance that it takes 1/100th of a second to run. It takes 1/100th of a second to run this distance in a 100-meter race. This is the distance between winning and losing. Whoa, think about that for a second. So sometimes on our personal path and our professional path, it's this slight edge difference that makes the difference in our lives. It's those simple things that seem so simple that things I share today may seem simple, but they're not easy. If they were, everyone would do it, and everybody would be walking around in a winning state of mind. So the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is whatever you brought in here with you in your head that's running your head, I want you to leave it outside the door right now. I want you to park it right now. I want you to pay attention and be here right now. If you happen to have a notepad and a pen, I'm going to encourage you, if something speaks to you, to write it down, because writing clarifies thought. How many of you used to do your calendar like in a day timer? Anybody? Come on. All right. How many of you still do that? Okay, good. Well, y'all, when it went to the electronic age with the phones and the iPads and do it on your Mac, I started putting everything in my electronics. And then I couldn't remember what I put in there. And so then I went back. You're agreed, right? But when I went back to writing it down, I started remembering it again, because writing clarifies thought. They are now proving that when you write it down on a piece of paper, that it ignites a different portion of your brain than if you're swiping or typing like with your thumb. So in life, as you move forward, if there are things that you want to remember, I'm just going to encourage you to write it down. And you're going to hear that from me over and over again. So before we jump into this information, I've got to tell you a little bit about my history. Growing up in Webster County at Route 3, Box 89, I did not grow up understanding, believing, or practicing anything I'm about to teach you today. This has come through Life 101. I've had to learn these principles. I've had to practice these principles. I've had to repeatedly practice these principles because I grew up in a section of the country well below the poverty level. First of all, my name is Dale, D-A-L-E. Yes, it is my daddy's name. Let's get that clear. I have been solicited by the Army, the Air Force, the Navy, and the Marines. Every magazine I have comes to Mr. Dale Thomas. It was horrible on my self-esteem growing up. And my daddy, that is his middle name, and he's so proud that I'm named after him. And y'all, I was out at some little tiny airport recently, and I handed them my ticket and had to walk out on the tarmac, a little tiny plane. I'm walking to the plane, and the woman that took my ticket yells at me. She said, "Dale." And I'm thinking I know her. So I turn around and in good Mississippi fashion go, "Hey, how are you?" She goes, "Just checking." I went, "Really? You think I'm trying to fake out the TSA with my name? Really? You don't think I'm Dale?" So I grew up with a very, very, very low self-esteem, very low. The fact that I now make my living as a professional speaker, doing what most people fear the most, which is speaking in public, is unbelievable, because I was the kid that would not raise my hand in class. We grew up dirt poor in Mississippi. Does anybody know what that is other than me? If you do, please raise your hand. Thank you. I'm among my people today. Thank you. Well, I grew up dirt poor. I tell people my daddy still got every car we have ever owned. It is on the property there in Mississippi. You can't see it because there is grass around it. But as Jeff Foxworthy says, if you cut the grass, you will find a car. And I didn't grow up talking about success or being positive. I didn't have a vision for success. I had no idea what I was going to do. I believed, because I grew up poor, grew up in this environment, I had no choices. If you don't remember anything else I say today, I need you to remember this. It is your decisions that determine your destiny, not your conditions. It's your decisions that determine your destiny, not your conditions, whatever those conditions are. Now, my mother had a vision of success for me, and if you grew up in the South, any of you ladies, you know exactly what it was. My mother wanted me to find a husband by the time I graduated from high school. I've got nodding going on in this room here in Nashville today. Well, it was not working out for my mother because the nearest movie theater was 45 miles away from my house, and I lived too far in the country for any boy to ever come after me. So I graduated from high school with no plan. And then I decided to be the very first person in my family to go to college. My daddy didn't even graduate from high school, so this was going to be a big deal for me to go to college, and we didn't know how we were going to do it. But another great thing happened in my life. It's the result of someone's choice. An elderly woman in my county passed away, left all the timber rights on her property as a scholarship fund for any child in Webster County, Mississippi, to go to college. Now, over 30 years later, any child in that county, Webster County, Mississippi, goes to any of the Mississippi schools free. How about that? That one woman's choice has changed thousands of lives, generations of lives. And I want you to understand every day there are decisions that you're making that are affecting other people that you will never see the result. But that's not your job. Your job is to plant a seed of goodness and hope and positive energy with the people that you come in contact with, both personally and professionally. And then sometimes we have to let go of the result. So I went over to Mississippi State, so excited I was going to get to go to college, and I sat down with my advisor. He looked at me, looked at my paperwork. He looked at me, looked at my paperwork. He said, young woman, we've got a little bit of a problem. I said, what is it? He said, they have looked at your name, and they have put you in the boys' dorm. I was like, yes, that's awesome. I said, that is awesome. I'm thinking I might meet a boy, it would, help my mama out. And I said, that's so awesome. He looked at me, he said, you don't think you're going to stay there, do you? I said, sir, you don't understand. Down there at Route 3, Box 89, Helen Smith has been on her knees before God praying for me a husband, and the odds just went up. And I said, if you take me out of this dorm, you're messing with the will of God. He was not amused with me at all. He said, I'm going to take my chances with God. And I said, well, fine. And then, because I had no direction, I'm talking zero direction, I decided, well, if I'm going to get a degree at Mississippi State, I need to get an education degree because that's what I can do down here. I can teach school, but I need to help my mama out, try to find myself a husband. So I decided all the cute boys were in the physical education department. So that's where I went. Why are you laughing? You don't even know me yet. But let me be clear. If you see me running, call the cops because somebody is chasing me. Because I have zero athletic ability. Zero. I couldn't dribble a basketball if you put a gun to my head. I could not do it. Why I was in the phys ed department, I don't know. But by the grace of God and a lot of hard work, I graduated from Mississippi State University with a degree in physical education. Aren't y'all impressed this morning? You should clap for that. I mean, that is a big deal. And even though I've never coached a day in my life on a court, I'm now coaching for life. And this morning, I'm going to be your coach, all right? And when I ask you something, I need you to humor me in my little 4-inch heels and my gold shirt. I need you to say, yes, coach. Can y'all do that? Let me hear you. Yes, coach. Okay, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. All right, one of the things I want you to understand, if you're going to create a winning edge in your life, motion creates emotion. You're going to have to act better if you want to feel better. Do y'all think I get up like this? She asked me, I think Police asked me a minute ago, do you get up like this? I love your energy. No, girl, I have to choose this. I choose this when I get up, regardless of what I feel. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and I want you with lots of energy, sit up in your chair, and I want you to rattle the rest of this building. I want them to wonder what is going on down here this morning. I want you to say, yes, coach, with such energy and enthusiasm that we can feel it, all right? Let me ask you this. How many of you really want to create that winning edge in your life? Would the next 12 months, would you like for it to be the best year of your life? Would you like to be better looking, healthier, more successful, have better friends? Everything in your life go better. If you would, let me hear you say it. Yes, Coach. I love that. Did y'all feel that wherever you are? You should. I hope you're doing it live. Okay, here is the big question. Are you willing to do whatever it takes to make that happen? Yes, Coach. Oh, that was pretty good. Usually the response is, really? Yes, Coach, sure. Because you know what? If you want your life to get better, you have to get better. We have to step out of the blame game, and we've got to step into our personal power. We have to take 100% responsibility for our lives. We have to stop blaming the weather, our kids, our job, our starter husbands, whatever it may be. That's just a positive way to say X. So there it is. See, you have already been enlightened this morning. You have already been motivated. It's just a positive way. So to create this winning edge in life, here is where it starts. And I know you may not be surprised by this, but if you want to create a winning edge in your life, it starts between your ears. Amen. Yay, I got an amen in here. Yay, I love that. It starts between your ears because everything in life is created twice. Between your ears and then between your hours. You are not on automatic pilot, though some of you are, because you're not paying attention to the present moment. But you think about it, even if it's automatic, before you do it. But we get so caught up in the negativity of this world, that's our default. Just like when you turn on your computer, you have a default for what, search engine it goes to. What's your default in the attitude department? If you're going to create a winning edge, you've got to stop, become aware of where you are and where you want to be. How many of you, will you agree with me that negative is normal? Say, yes, coach. And you know why? Every single day when you turn on the news or pick up a newspaper, did you turn on the news this morning and hear how great this day was going to be? How fantastic today was going to be? That today's going to be your best day. No. You've heard about everything that's gone wrong yesterday, the week before. And what is it with the weather people? Even when it's 20% chance of rain, why don't they say 80% chance of sun? What is that? Why do you have to lead with the negative? 20% chance of rain. Well, what about 80% chance of sun? What about that? So I want you to stop and think about where your attitude is. Think about the most positive people you know and the most negative people you know. Then I'm going to ask you to get real honest and ask yourself, which list are you on? If I ask your friends or your coworkers, are you bringing positive energy and light to the workplace every day? Or are you the one that brings the cloud? The 20% chance of rain. Are you the 20% chance of rain? What are you? And regardless of where you are, if you're over here or over here, every day is a day for improvement. And so I'm going to challenge you, I'm going to push you, and I'm going to encourage you with some ideas that will change the energy in your battery from negative to positive. And it's going to be something that you have to do over and over and over again. This morning, it's your soul food. This is food for your soul this morning. But so many times, because we live in a negative world, how many of us are stopping every day to put positive information into our soul so it becomes a part of our life? But we are so caught up in our lives, in our daily lives, in our routines, that it's very hard sometimes to stop and say, nope, today I'm fueling the positive inside of me. And that is something that I had to learn. I learned this many years ago. I heard the statistic and it blew my mind. Do y'all remember in kindergarten what they taught us was the most important meal of the day? What was it? Breakfast. Did you also know that whatever you put into your brain the first 30 minutes of the day determines your productivity and your attitude for the rest of the day? Oh, some of y'all in trouble. Some of y'all in trouble. What are you doing the first 30 minutes of the day? What are you doing on the drive to work? Are you fueling the positive in your life or the negative? Let me tell you this. If you would simply commit to changing 30 minutes a day, that could be 15 in the morning in the car, 15 on the way home, 30 minutes a day. If you would simply, specifically designate 30 minutes of your day every day to fueling your soul with something positive. That's why I do CDs. That's why there's books on CDs. Oprah's got a channel now on Sirius XM. So if you do that, at the end of the year, you will have spent 28 8-hour days in personal improvement. Would that change your life? Say, yes, coach. It absolutely would. But the question is, how many of you will you do it? How many will you simply give up 15 minutes of television in the morning or 15 minutes of the news at night and replace it with something that can fuel your soul? A positive attitude is a choice. It is not an emotion. A positive attitude is a choice. It's not an emotion. All right, I'm going to check and see how everybody via the feed today did this morning. How did you get up this morning? Because if the first 30 minutes of your day are predicting the rest of your day, how many of you got up like this morning? Did you jump out of bed, run into the mirror, look in the mirror and went, "Ooh, good morning, gorgeous. How are you?" There's a guy in the room, he did, I guarantee you. Didn't you? Sure enough, see? I always love it, even though it's a great, beautiful group of women. I'm so glad there's always one smart man, two smart men, three smart men in the room today. But guys, I asked that question around the country. How many of you got up and said, "Good morning, gorgeous"? It is always a man. Always, always, always. I saw a guy the other day. He's like walking like this. I said, "You sure are cocky." He went, "No, sister, I'm just convinced." I got to give it to him. He's convinced. But ladies, what did we do this morning? I tell you what most of you did. You got up and you looked in the mirror and went, "Oh, good Lord. What happened?" Do you know the most important conversations you are ever going to have are the ones that you have with yourself? This is the formula for success. C plus C equals R. Circumstances plus choices equal results. Over here on this little circumstance piece, oh my goodness, a lot of times we can't control that. I fly all the time. I travel around the world doing this. I see people losing their minds at the Nashville airport because that flight is 20 minutes late. I just want to go up and go, "Okay, did you realize your hissy fit is not bringing that plane here any faster? All you're doing is ruining your day every day." They let somebody flying a plane ruin their day. So every time you allow the circumstance in your life to control your choices, you give your power to the circumstance. We have to identify problems, but we have to empower solutions. What you focus on gets bigger. What you focus on gets bigger. And usually we can identify a problem both personally and professionally in 5 minutes. But we like to beat it up. We like to talk about it, especially if you're a lady. We all like to process, right, girls? We do. All right, let's go back to the good morning, gorgeous thing. Because you know what, ladies, when we look in the mirror, what do we see first? Do we see what we like about ourselves or what we don't? Somebody talk to me. What we don't. What do we focus on? What's bad? And then we make that even bigger and bigger and bigger, and we don't even see what's right. Okay, tomorrow's going to be a new day. Y'all ready? All right, y'all ready? Say yes, coach. Come on. All right. Tomorrow morning, we're going to do it the rest of the day. You told me you want to change your life. This is goofy. This is simple. I don't care. It will make you smile. It will put you in a better attitude, and then it will begin to follow. So, in the morning, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to get up and out loud. It has to be out loud. The first thing you do is you look in the mirror, and you got to do the little ooh part. You got to go, ooh. And you're going to say, "Good morning, gorgeous." Now your husband's going to turn to you and go, "Hey, how you?" And then you go, "I am not talking to you. I am talking to me. You should have been at my presentation yesterday. I am talking to me." And then you're going to laugh and you're going to smile. In fact, let's practice. Turn to your neighbor and say, "Good morning, gorgeous." All right. Look, I wish you could see your faces. You're already laughing. That one little goofy exercise, all of a sudden, everybody just starts smiling. Okay, that's the first assignment. Are y'all down with that? Say yes, coach. Yes. All right. Second assignment for the rest of the day and the rest of the week. Let's see how long we can keep it going. I want you to say that to 5 people. 5 people that are not in here today. Text them. If you have children, daughters, text them. If you've got friends, text, email, phone call, I don't care, 5 people. And just say, "Hey, good morning, gorgeous. Hope you have a great day." As you leave this presentation this morning, say it to somebody. Go, "Hey, good morning, gorgeous. How are you?" They're going to go, "What did they give y'all in that meeting? What did y'all do in there?" Because you know what? Negative is normal. They think we're weird. Do we care? No. All right, here's what's going to happen. I shared this with a 2-day event. I did a keynote on a nighttime, and then we did a workshop the next morning. And so I said, "Okay, did everybody in this room text or call 5 people this morning?" It was 8:30, like this kind of meeting. And there was a young girl in the back. She raised her hand. She said, "Can I tell you what happened?" I said, "You may." She said, "I text my office this morning. I text 5 of my friends back in my office because we were at a conference. And I text, 'Good morning, gorgeous. Have a great day.' She said, 'This is what I just got back.' Are you drinking this early?" Now, why do we think there's something wrong with us when we say something good? It's incredible. Because you know what? If somebody says, let me ask you this. When somebody asks you, how are you? What is your default word? Somebody talk to me. What's your default word? Fine. Okay. That's impressing me this morning. Y'all are really impressing me this morning. But I dare you, take the Good Morning Gorgeous challenge, and then tomorrow, pick a bigger word. But I'm extraordinary. I'm amazing. They'll go, why? What's wrong? But if you say you're fine, I'm not too bad, they'll go, oh, well, good. Or I'm so stressed, all the words. Pick a bigger word. This is called fake it till you make it. If you want to be more positive, start acting like it. You've got to act as if. Motion creates emotion. So tomorrow, start your day with a positive 15 minutes. Laugh at yourself. Say, good morning, gorgeous. I don't care what you see. I had one woman say, I did that, and my mirror said, I don't think so. I said, girl, don't let your mirror talk back to you. That's negative Neva. She resides in your head. Tape her mouth shut. You know that voice, right? Say, yes, coach. Yes, coach. You know that voice. It says your hair's awful. Oh, Lord, there's that rain today. Your hair is going to be 3 times the size it is right now. And you start having this conversation. You have the ability to tape her mouth shut. Just say, good morning, gorgeous. You need to shut your mouth today. That's the only appropriate time to say shut your mouth is to the negative voices inside your head. Are y'all with me? Say, yes, coach. Yes, coach. All right. That's just starting to feed your soul because so many of the negative influence will come against you. What people say to you, what happens to you. You've got to be able to step back and say, I do have a choice in this. I love this story, and many people you've probably heard this before, but I'm going to share it again because, again, the mother of all skill is repetition. Every single one of you can hear a song from college or high school and sing every word, right? Say, yes, coach. Is it because you took the liner and you sat there and you memorized those lyrics? No. It's because you heard it over and over and over again. That's why the world's negative. It's because we've had it on repeat, and we've got to dig for the positive. The negative will show up, people. You've got to dig for the positive. And you know what? I'm so proud of you guys for having this group together. Give yourselves a hand for being here this morning. That's awesome. There was a young boy that was playing basketball in junior high, and he came home one day and ran into the house, ran up to his room, slammed the door, threw his books on the floor. His mother was in the kitchen. She was like, what just happened? So she went upstairs. She looked at him, said, son, what is going on with you? And he looked at her, and through a broken-hearted 15-year-old's eyes, he said, I got cut. The coach says I'm too small to play. I'm not going to make the team. And then at a brilliant moment, his mother looked at him and said one thing. She said, son, it's not the size of the player in the game. It's the size of the game inside the player. And she walked out. First of all, I don't know how mama does that, but she walked out. And she left him with those words. Somehow those words sunk in, and he started to repeat them to himself. It's not the size of the player in the game, it's the size of the game and the player. But words are just words if you don't take action on them. So the words and the beliefs started to change, and he started to make different choices. He got up early. He worked out harder. He practiced before school. He practiced after. He gave up time with his friends to improve his game. He did that for 1 solid year, continuing to repeat. It's not the size of the player in the game, size of the game inside the player. The year rolls around, and it's time again for tryouts, and he goes in to try out for the team. The coach has now later said that his spirit, his will, his attitude, his energy was so big when he walked in, he knew this player was not to be denied. He made the team that year. Went on to make the team throughout high school. Went on to play college basketball. And he became one of the most incredible basketball players of our time. His name is Michael Jordan. If Michael Jordan had believed the words of the coach who said, you're too small to play, if he had accepted that as his truth, none of us would have ever seen Michael Jordan. But his wise mother knew that she had to build his spirit to win from within. To create that winning edge starts to win from within. She planted that seed. He believed it, took action on it. The question is, will you? My son Nick is 28 years old. Y'all can pray for me, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But when Nick was 2 years old, I knew that Michael Jordan story, and I started teaching Nick when he was 2. Lovely time to start teaching a child. When he is in his what? Terrible 2s. So I decided Nick Thomas was going to be in his terrific 2s whether he liked it or not. Because everybody told him he was in his terrible 2s, and he was like, yep, I could do that. We're telling them that. We're planting that seed. I said, guess what? You're going to be in your terrific 2s. So every day when he would get up, he'd get up and growl at me. He'd go, "Urgh." I'd say, good morning, Nick Thomas. You can choose to be happy today. He'd go, I want you to be happy. Do you know these people? Say, yes, coach. Yes, coach. And I would look at him and grab his little fat face, and I'd say, that's okay, baby. That's your choice. If you don't want to be happy today, that's your choice. So I started teaching Nick every day, regardless of what he did, it was his choice. If he would get in trouble, I'd lay it all out. Hey, Nick, if you continue to choose that, you're choosing time out. Do we get that? Uh-huh. Go ahead and choose it anyway. Then I'd send him time out. You sent me to time out. I went, nope, send yourself there. You made the choice. I put all the responsibility back on his choices. And that's how I started teaching Nick Thomas. And then I started teaching all these words to Nick. Let me tell you this. Every word that you speak has power. Every word. Even the good book says that out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth will speak. You better start listening to yourself, and you'll know what's in your heart because it's coming out of your mouth. Let me ask you this. What if every word you spoke out of your mouth the last month instantly came true? Where would you be right now? Oh, yeah, the front row would not be present. What do we say here in the South? I am burning up. Little flames popping up everywhere. Think about it. It's 50 degrees today. Most of us here in the South are freezing to death. Solid blocks of ice popping up. You want to have fun? Listen to people and think about it visually. Those kids are driving me. I'm about to pull my hair. Y'all are okay, y'all, let's get this picture. Y'all are burning up, frozen solid, locked up and bald. It's a good day. Working myself to just falling out left and right all day long. Y'all have no employees in here. And then y'all go, he just makes me. Y'all, now look, listen to that. I mean, it's like in unison. And now you're throwing up. This is good. And then you go, just a pain in that. Don't you go there. It's Wednesday. I'll have to pray for y'all on Wednesday. Pain in the neck. Think about all the words that we say. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I'm working myself to death. Kids are driving me crazy. He just makes me sick. And then you wonder why your life is not positive. Really? Really? You're planting these seeds and they are coming up. A lot of y'all need to be praying for a crop failure right now. I grew up on a farm, can you tell? And look, I was shopping the other day. Women tell the truth. The most fun you'll ever have is watching women watch other women. Say, yes, coach. Y'all know what y'all do. You see, a guy will look at a girl and go, ooh, she's cute. Y'all fold y'all's arm and y'all scan. And y'all, look, back row is laughing, and I know that means they've done it. And they look, you look at each other and go, what has she got on? Where'd she get that? Why can't I look like that? And then you start doing that horrible game of comparison. You're never going to win at that. I was shopping the other day. That's my sport. Finding everything on sale. Thank you for Marty and Liz. Those of you that don't know, it's a great shoe store in Nashville, just so you know. And so I was shopping the other day, and I'm watching these two women watch this child come out of the dressing room, and she's about this big. These women are ticked off. They acted like she got skinny just to make them mad. They're standing there with their arms crossed like this, just scanning her up and down. Now remember, every word out of your mouth is coming true. And this woman looks at her and goes, if I never put another bite in my mouth, I will not be that skinny. Her girlfriend said, neither would I, but I'd give my right arm to be that skinny. Hey, she'd be armless, but she'd be skinny. What do you want? What do you want? Every day, are you talking more about what you do want or what you don't want? Both personally and professionally. What are you talking about? Again, pay attention. Guys, how many of you drove to work today and don't even remember getting here? Most of you. You drive and go, how did I get there? Because we are not in the present moment. You have got, as my mama used to say, you've said it to your kids, you better watch your mouth. You better start saying it to yourself. Because what is coming out of your mouth is in your soul. So you've got to start to change that. I'm going to give you some words to go back into your world. You need to really get a hold of this. Whatever comes after these two words, I am, rules your life and rules your world. I am tired. I am exhausted. I am ticked off. I am this. I am that. Because your body and your mind goes to work to prove that I am statement is true. That's just what your subconscious does. You place an order when you say, I am XYZ, and your subconscious goes, cool, let's do that. Let's do that. So when you say, I am angry, I am ticked off, I am hacked off, what does your body usually do? Somebody talk to me. What does your body do? Tenses up. And how many times have you seen people still get angry over something that happened 175 years ago? Right? People are still talking about something that happened 10 years ago, and they still up in arms about it. And guess what? It is now proven. Recalling one episode of anger with all of that emotion, because you feel it like it just happened, depresses your immune system for up to 7 hours. Oh, yeah, exactly. What you're thinking about is making you sick. Guess what? Nobody can make you mad without your consent. That is a choice. How many times have you heard somebody go, he just makes me so mad? No, he didn't. He made the choice to do that. You made the choice to be angry. You made the choice to be frustrated. The first choice we have to make is realize we're making a choice. Are you ready for a new word for angry? Okay, you don't even have to write it down, because I have it on a postcard for everybody with my picture on it, because I'm a tired old beauty queen. That's what we do. We put our picture on it. All right, here is your new word. The next time somebody's on your last good nerve and they are just wearing you out and you're all angry and all that, you just remember today, words change your world, and you just look at them and go, I'm not angry with you, but I'm extremely disenchanted. You look! You can't be mad and disenchanted at the same time. And they're going to go, what? Half the time they're mad because you're not mad. So you just step into the presence and say, I'm just going to be disenchanted today. You may have to say it 1,000 times. I don't care. I do, but I don't. Just say it as many times as it takes to get from over here to over here. Okay, y'all down with that? Say, I'm disenchanted. Just disenchanted. See, look, y'all are all smiling. You can't stay mad at me. You just can't do it. How many of you have ever said, I am so nervous? Get your hands up. Come on. Uh-huh. That's what my mama does, my sweet mama. And what happens when you're nervous? What does your body do? Tenses up, start sweating. Your stomach gets in a knot. Have you ever seen a speaker that's nervous? And they're so nervous they make you nervous? You feel for them? So the next time you feel nervous, just stop. Say, I'm not nervous, I'm energized. Everybody say, I'm energized. So you're gorgeous and you're energized. It's a good day. All right. How many of you said this? I am so stressed out. Go ahead, get your hands in there. Let's get them up. Heard a 4-year-old say it the other day. I said, dude, what'd you do? Lose your G.I. Joe? He said, no, my mama's stressed out, so I'm stressed out too. Right? Do y'all think these people are not listening, these little baby people? These little baby people are listening. And they are repeating what you say to them. And whether you think they're listening or not, your energy and your words are instructing them. If you are a mother of daughters, and it's so crucial that we build a solid self-esteem in our daughters today. I don't have a biological daughter, but I have a bonus daughter. She's not my stepdaughter, she's my bonus daughter. I have a bonus daughter. But the best way for you to teach self-esteem to your daughters is to live it. If you're standing there and telling them how much you hate your body and how much you hate this and that, they're listening to that and they're mirroring that. If you're saying you're stressed out about everything in life, they're mirroring that. It starts with us. Are you ready for a new word for stressed? Here we go. You are not, that's it. That is stress spelled backwards. Did you know that? Just turn it around. We're not going to be stressed out. We're going to have some dessert. But our new word is we're not stressed out. We're blessed out. If you woke up above ground today without a chalk line around your body, you are blessed. You woke up in the United States of America today. Come on, give the United States a hand clap. You are blessed. We get to be here, have soul food and coffee, and have fun together this morning. You are blessed. So quit getting stressed out and get blessed out. I better get an amen on that. Come on. So today, when you leave here and somebody says, how are you? Say, I'm blessed out. And I'm gorgeous too. How you doing? They are crazy, but they are having fun. And how many of you feel like this? I am so overwhelmed. Come on. Look, like I said, I do this for a living around the world. Audiences from 50 to 15 to 20,000. I wake up and I don't know what city I'm in or what time zone. My husband and I moved into a new house a few years ago, and my starter husband was our builder. Yep, he's a good builder. And there are days that I had to go get my car the other day and listen to my own CD. It was one of those days. And there are days that I feel overwhelmed, and I look at my schedule and I look what I'm doing, and I just get overwhelmed. But then I remember I put everything there. You don't get to complain about what you permit. Oh, I hated that when I heard it. Takes all the responsibility back here. So people, if we're going to live our best lives, if we're going to have the winning edge and win from within, have the best year ever, we're probably going to feel a little bit overwhelmed. But I got a new word for us. We are not overwhelmed. We just in demand. Right? In demand. In demand. So when your day's getting a little out of control, somebody says, how you doing? Say, I'm in demand. How about you? Just saying you're overwhelmed, change it. It just makes it feel worse, right? You are creating so much. We create. I'm right there with you. There are days that my 3-hour shoes have been on my feet for 12 hours. And there are days that I am tired. There are days I wake up, and there are days, that the airlines does try to steal my joy. But I've been teaching Nick this since he was little. Every day, choice, 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 choice. He was about 10 years old when this happened. He came into my kitchen on a pair of roller skates doing hockey moves and pageant waves at the same time just to see if he could get on my nerves. Your kids will teach you. He's in my kitchen. I'm a good Southern mama. I said, listen to me right now. You about to take your last breath. Right here in my kitchen. Everything I just taught you to do, I was not doing because this stuff ain't easy. I said, Nick, I'm over you. I want you out. I want you gone. Go. He rolled back on his skates. He propped himself up on my counter. And with love in his eyes, he said, hey, Mama, you don't have to let my actions affect your attitude. I said, dude, stop listening to my tapes. He said, is that not what you're going to teach them tomorrow? Rolled across that kitchen, kissed me on the cheek, and skated out. I had never made that statement, ever. That is a Nick Thomas original. How many of you have ever allowed someone else's actions to affect your attitude? Get your hands in the air. All right, I was on the Dr. Phil show several years ago. How's that working for you? All you do is give them your power. Okay, you're going to change 15 minutes a day. One of the greatest books I've read recently is called The Happiness Advantage. I had some other things, and hopefully we may be able to do some things maybe after the first year, do a little more training with you guys, because now I've rattled on now for I've got 5 minutes left. Can you believe that? It's almost over. I've got so much more to say. The Happiness Advantage. So many people kind of frown on why the positive attitude makes a difference. This scientifically tells you why. The Happiness Advantage. Pick it up. If you would read 5 pages of a good book a day, your life will change. 5 pages, that's all. 5 pages a day. That's all. That's why I do books. That's why I do CDs. I also do a thing called Motivational Monday. Every Monday, I write a positive message because people gripe about Monday. What is your alternative? Not to have Monday? So if you will leave me your email address today, I'll stick you into our database, and Monday you will hear from me because I'll be talking about y'all. You might want to know what I'm saying. So put something positive in your life. Secondly, to create a winning edge, you've got to have a game plan. Any goal that is not written down is a wish. If you want a better year this year, write it down. You spend more time making Christmas lists and grocery lists than you do a list for your life. Change it today. Because you're never going to hit a target you can't see. I started teaching Nick, and I'll close with this because I'm out of time. I can't believe I'm out of time. Girl, I get so excited. I just go. I started teaching Nick about setting goals. When I went through my divorce, it was not something I had on my to-do list, but some things happen you don't plan for. And I had a car that I'd written on my goal list just because I did, and I wanted this car. I couldn't afford this car, but it was kind of, I was teaching Nick. So I'd grab Nick and I'd say, come on, let's go visit my car. I can't afford the car, but I can go get my picture made in it. I grew up with a Sears and Roebuck wish book. So I thought, I'm going to sit in the car. He's going to take my picture, and I'm going to see how cute I am in that car because I got to be able to see that car before I can get that car, right? So that's what I was teaching Nick. He came in one day with his goals, handed me his list. He goes, I have you know, he was 10. He was on a roll when he was 10. I got my goals written down. I went, oh, I'm so proud of you. I thought it was going to be A's in school. Be nice to your mama. Right. It said dirt bike 100 times. You see, the kids have got it. It's called focus. I said, baby, I'm your mama. I love you, and you not getting a dirt bike. He said, fine, I'll dream till I'm 18 then. So every time I went to the Lexus dealership to have my picture made in my car, on the way home, he'd say, we need to roll on by the Honda dealership on our way home. I went, dude, you're not getting that dirt bike. He goes, Mom, I love you, but you don't have that car yet either. Well, you do. You got to take him by what do you do? So he had been asking me for 6 months for the dirt bike. You see, kids have got it. They ask 4 ways. They ask clearly for what they want. Where did we lose that? They ask confidently for what they want in their lives. They ask consistently for what they want in their lives. And they ask creatively. You need to remember that when I share this last story with you. He had been asking for that dirt bike, like I said, for 8 months. I was down in Memphis, Tennessee at the Pyramid speaking for 15,000 people for a weekend. And on Sunday, because it was such a big event, they decided to have a church service for anybody that wanted to stay. They did the Passion Play where they act out the Bible from the birth of the resurrection. Nick was down front with me, with my client. There were 10,000 people behind us. In the middle of this presentation, Jesus stepped out and held his arms out and said, you can have anything. Y'all slow down. If you will ask it in my name. 10-year-old Nick Thomas jumped to his feet. He threw his arms to the sky. And in a voice loud enough for God in heaven to hear him, he screams to the stage, Dear Jesus, please let my mom and daddy get me a motorcycle for Christmas. Thank you. Amen. I had him by the collar so fast. I am threatening death. My client's going, ooh, you told him so well. I'm like, shut up. Nick, really, seriously, you've got to hush. He goes, Mom, Jesus said anything. Guess what Nick got for Christmas? A Bible. No, he got the dirt bike. 28-year-old Nick Thomas is a professional race car driver. And a little sport called drifting where they slide the car sideways at a high rate of speed. Yes. And you know what? He never gave it up. My best friend growing up was crippled in a car accident and told she would never walk again. But because of her faith and belief and all of that, she not only learned to walk again, she walked the runway in Atlantic City, New Jersey as Miss America. We are 2 little dirt poor girls from North Mississippi who learned that success is a choice, that you got to win from within before it shows up on the outside. What is your choice today? Choose to read more. Choose to surround yourself with positive people. Choose to feed your soul. And when you do that, you'll realize that winning is truly by choice. Thank you guys so much for letting me be here. I brought postcards for everybody. I don't know if anybody, I have a book and a CD. We do that for $20. If anybody wants to take me with you, they're here. We're going to do a few Q&A if you guys want. She's saving 5 minutes for Q&A. So if anybody has any questions, I will try and do my best to answer. Any questions? Anybody? No? All right, make sure that you come up, hug my neck, and get a postcard. And I hope to see you guys again, and maybe we'll do something in the future. God bless you. Have a great day. Bye, guys.